Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber Guy, I'm doing a Vintage Dealer's Choice, and I'm going to practice for Eternal Weekend with Azorius Lurrus Saga. My default for Eternal Weekend is running back Oath of Druids that I played in Prague. I still think that deck's great. I think it has good matchups versus a lot of the field. However, this is an archetype I need to explore. This video will come out on the day of US Eternal Weekend, so I will already be 1 or 2 rounds into the tournament by the time you're watching this. And by then, we'll know what I ended up playing. But I have to test this league at least once before the tournament. I got to do my due diligence. Dimir Lurrus Saga has been a staple of Vintage ever since Lorien Revealed was printed. Lorien Revealed allows you to play 9 colorless lands in a deck that wants to be a 2-color blue deck, getting 4 Urza Sagas and 5 Wastelands with the Strip Mine. That's a lot of power in the mana base, and you get to fill out your colored mana sources and your blue spells for force effects. And this deck has 7 force effects in it, and just tons of ways to draw cards. Ancestral Recall, we've got Treasure Cruise, we've got Dig Through Time. The gang's all here. And the appeal of white over black. Black gets Orcish Bowmaster, Demonic Tutor, those sort of things. Orcish Bowmaster, very powerful card. However, Lavinia is one of the most oppressive permanents in the Vintage format. There are decks like Squeevine that just don't even function with Lavinia in play. Decks like Coveted Jewel, Paradoxical Outcome barely function with Lavinia in play. And even just normal decks, even like the Mirror Match. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards that cost 0, plus my 7 forces. That's up to 16 cards that cost 0. Oh, there's a Daze in this deck too. Look at that. Lavinia just incidentally hosing fair decks while completely obliterating unfair decks. And there's just 3 of her in the main deck. There she is. Look at that. I've said on the channel a number of times that Vintage decks are like thoroughbred racehorses, where they're lean, they're powerful, but if they roll their ankle, they go straight to the dog food factory. And this deck, Lavinia, can roll over a Vintage deck. This level of counterspells, 7 forces, a Daze, 2 Spell Pierce, a Flusterstorm. This is just a wall of stuff where if you stop a lot of Vintage decks, first and second thing they do, then they don't really do anything. And this deck is just built to not let them do anything. The White Splash, in addition to Lavinia, we get Swords to Plowshares, one of the best removal spells ever printed. I'm trying a Get Lost. This is from the new Caverns of Ixalan. Destroy target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. A controller gets 2 map tokens. A map is an artifact with 1 tap, sacrifice this artifact, target creature you control explores. Activate only as a sorcery. So it's theoretically card selection, maybe card advantage, but it costs mana on your main phase to do, and you need a creature to do it. Because it doesn't say up to 1 target creature you control explores, and Explore just doesn't do anything if the creature's not there. There are Vintage decks that don't even play creatures. Maybe these just sit here. There are also Vintage decks that can just leverage 2 artifact permanents being in play, with like Tolarian Academy or Tinker. Gotta watch out for that, but this is a pretty powerful, I don't want to call it upgrade, side grade to Swords to Plowshares, because taking out something like Oath of Druids or Oko with your removal spell that you want to play anyway, insanely powerful. And that's the deck. We're just going to try to stop our opponent from functioning and draw lots of cards. Let's get into it. I'm on the draw in round 1, and we're immediately going to test if this deck does what it's supposed to do. I'm going to keep this, and I have 3 forces in my opening hand. Lorien Revealed finds me my colored mana source. Gitaxian Probe's a redraw. Oh, Mox Jet. Now the Lorien Revealed can even cycle into a spot where I'm activating Urza Saga. I'm going to start with Probe before I even make my land drop. Opponent has Opposition Agent, Orcish Bowmaster, another Opposition Agent, and 2 Force of Negations. This hand is honestly kind of mid. I'm going to play Mox Jet and Urza Saga. And I am not going to give them the opportunity to opposition agent my Lorien revealed. I'll just put a Tundra in my hand now. Here's a fetch. Island. They're playing around my opposition agent. That's funny. Yeah, they can Bowmaster. I don't even think I force this. Do I care? And I'll care eventually, but Urza Saga is a messed up card. That's a plan all on its own. My hand currently doesn't even draw cards. And I do want to force their opposition agent because I do want to search with Urza Saga. Getting my Black Lotus in the mix is going to be important to me because Lurrus is part of my engine. They had their own Lorien revealed. They can't attack here effectively. And then let's just start doing Saga stuff. Hit the land drop, easy money. This is the name of the game right here. I believe I do want the Black Lotus. I'm not really doing anything else with all my mana. But I am going to fetch now, once again, before they untap into these Oppos. Attack for 4. Just a little chumpo there. I think I want to pop this Lurrus in my hand. I have Time Walk and stuff, but I think I can do better in a future turn with that. Holding up Spell Pierce or Flusterstorm plus the double force at this point. Mox Emerald's fine. They might have to force of negation my Lotus out of the graveyard, which is just a huge blowout. But not for me. Do I care about this? I don't think so. If I draw a fetch land right now, it's a punish. Oh, wow. Okay. Soul Ring, get in there. Just extra mana. Lurrus, get in there. And then I'm going to Black Lotus Time Walk. Force of Will, pitching, Force of Negation. Okay. This is what we've been waiting for. Force, pitching, Force of Negation. Lurrus is in. Black Lotus from the graveyard. I'm going to attack first, because my constructs are bigger, and I don't need the mana on the Time Walk. And then blue, 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 Time Walk, you're dead. Bang. Wow. Yeah, already showcasing the power of this deck. I just kept a 7 that had a single colorless mana source in it, and we just raffle stomp the opponent. Okay, we are in some sort of non-Lurrus blue-black control situation. That was a lot of opposition agents in the main deck. That's weird. I definitely want my removal here and my cheap counter spells. Maybe looking at stuff like Force of Negation to chill on a little bit. They didn't show me a spell that I care about. I mean, obviously they're a vintage deck. They're going to have Ancestral Recalls and stuff, but... And they might have Tinker in their deck because they did not reveal Lurrus. Unless they forego Lurrus to not even Tinker and just get Opposition Agent in their deck, that seems horrendous. I'm going to run it like this until they show me something scary enough to bring those forces back in. Okay, multiple Lavinias in the opener. And I could even accelerate an Urza Saga. I have no interaction of any kind. But this matchup is pretty fair. Well, it was fair until they played this Black Lotus. Oof. Alright. Getting vintaged. It's all good. Yeah, the flip side of having such a powerful plan with the Sagas and you get access to Lurrus and stuff is you're not much of a vintage deck. And by that I mean you don't do a lot of Busto Insano stuff on turn 1 that just ends the game. Alright, drawing the Lorien revealed sucks. I could play Saga, but they are going to get my tutor at the end of it if I don't have an answer first. I guess I'll just try to get a Lavinia set up here. I'll Flusterstorm almost anything this turn. Pithing Needle, that's going to name Saga. Would be my guess. Wasteland, okay. Oh, they're going to strip mine me. Fair enough. Blue to blue. Okay. This Oppo, I do have a bunch of answers in my deck, but I'm going to have to find one. Drawing a second Lorien revealed brutal. You've got a Saga. Ancestral Recall for me. Okay. I have no way to fight over this currently. I can't even cast this Lurrus if I put it in my hand. Yeah, the turn 1 Oppo definitely collapsed. We showcased the power of colorless lands Lorien revealed in game 1, and we are getting hoisted by our own petard here in game 2. I'm going to play Saga and then Ancestral in their upkeep. They've shown me Hull Breacher, so I don't want to just fire into 3 mana. I can pay for a Flusterstorm. I can't beat a Mental Misstep. Gitaxian Probe. They're going to see a handful of things that don't work. They've got their land. Swords of Plowshares, please. Another fetch land. Okay, I'm going to concede this one. They're about to tutor my best artifact. In getting got by Black Lotus Ancestral in the play, I'm not going to feel too bad about. I don't think Force of Negation is the solution to those problems, because I cut the Force of Negations to bring in white removal spells, and any white removal spell would have been great there for the whole game. I'm just going to run it back. Okay, white removal spell, fetch land, Saga. I'll keep this. I'll play Scalding Tarn and pass. If they just, like, put Black Lotus into play and pass here, that would be pretty annoying, because then fetching would be hard. I guess I fetch in response to a Lotus. They're merchant scrolling. This is going to get Ancestral. I could just daze this thing now, or I could set up my own merchant scroll. Alright, they did get an Ancestral. I'm just going to fetch now. I don't normally like fetching to thin, but I think it is correct here. Plow, Saga. I'm going to play my own scroll. Find my own Ancestral. Okay, here we are. Opponent is ahead because they had the first Saga, and they have a Mox to accelerate it. Yeah, I just really didn't want to daze my first land drop out of play. I don't want to daze this land drop out of play either. Oh geez, Lorien Academy. Alright, they're about to bury me. Let's see if the fair multiple Swords of Plowshare situation can keep up with all this. 3 mana in the pool. Time Walk, gross. Probably have to daze the Ancestral here. Oh, they just burned it off. Not even going to use it. That's even worse. Yeah, the important question here is the Swords of Plowshares in my hand the one from the sideboard? And would it have been better as Force of Negation? And probably, I just didn't want to daze at any point, and now I can't. Ancestral. Yeah, our opponent has 4 pieces of power to our 1, and that's just been the theme of these second and third games of this match. I didn't bring in my balance. Maybe I'm supposed to. Do you just bring that in any creature matchup? It seems like it's more for, like, Bazaar or shops. Follow-up Saga. Dig through time. They have so many cards. Yeah, I definitely wish balance was in my deck to draw 2 here. Okay. I think I have to Ancestral. I don't have high hopes it will resolve, but I need to draw, like, a bunch of Moxen or something to even pretend to catch up. And they had the mental misstep. Couldn't even give me the decency of forcing it. Spending the top in the end step. They have more cards in hand, more permanents in play, more power on board. And they're selecting their draws every turn. And they had 3 Sagas. And they're all going to get to make constructs. Yeah, they just had mana advantage the entire game. I was not competitive here. Now we're casting Lorien Revealed. So fucked. Does my deck want a Lorien Academy? It seems great. Okay, I'm going to take 6 here. Go to my turn. Float mana. I mean, Treasure Cruise is not the worst card I could have seen. Is Black Lotus the correct thing to get here? Probably. Okay, Black Lotus. Swords to Plowshares. Swords to Plowshares. They can Opposition Agent here. I have to risk it. Alright, cool. They didn't have it. Treasure Cruise. I can daze. They can't Hull Breacher. But if they force, I can't daze that effectively. Force daze does not help here, obviously. And then wait, put Lurrus in my hand. And I cannot play her right now. Yeah, that looked like a pretty cool turn, but it's the turn that my opponent had on turn 2, and I had it on turn 5 after they've done all this. Way too late. Alright, we can be done. We don't need to watch me bleed out here. Okay. Opponent vintaged me twice in a matchup that I did not expect to be about vintaging. I don't know if I'm supposed to mulligan to more explosive hands, but, like, my hand this game would have won game 2. Because they just went in heavy on that early Opposition Agent, then didn't really do anything for a while Oppo shut off my whole deck. If I just plow it, even if they have forced my opener at 2 plows, the ability to go broken in Vintage is really important to me, and which is why I'm trying this deck at the last minute, compared to, like, Oath and PO and Grixis Breach, and just all these truly busted decks that I've tested up to this point. I don't like when this happens, and I don't have an I win button to catch up. If you're looking to run a CEDH or 1v1 tournament, Eminence Gaming has your back with Command Tower. With Command Tower's intuitive tournament manager dashboard, you can handle decklist submission and player management with just a few clicks. Players just need to scan the event's QR code for access to the full tournament bracket, including seamless pairings and real-time standing updates. Take the guesswork out of tournament organizing. Try Command Tower for your next event. I'm on the draw in round 2. Another one of these million force hands. I am going to keep it. A Mox, a Lorien revealed. Just some mana source is what I want out of my deck here. But we are testing once again, the idea that if you stop vintage decks first 2 things, then they don't really do anything. And my opponent mulled to 5 and then had a turn 1 Ancestral that I was able to force. So, I mean, we're in here. Now I have the choice of playing Saga, getting it ticking. I would rather give myself the possibility to activate the Saga by drawing any mana source in the next 2 turns, rather than having to draw a Mox next turn. Oh, we're oops all spells, okay. I read it originally as the Coveted Jewel deck, but oops all spells works pretty good. Okay, I'm going to let the Pact of Negation resolve, and then counter the Spy. And then they'll die in their upkeep. Cool. We didn't actually have to do anything, we just had to stop them from doing anything, which is, I mean, oops all spells is the most extreme example of that, but that is also, like, the whole point of our deck. Okay. Containment Priest, Mindbreak Trap, Grafdigger's Cage, Soul Guide Lantern, Flusterstorm. I want Pithing Needle as well. Sometimes they pivot onto Goblin Charbelcher, and I just want answers to that. I think my creature removal can chill. Lavinia is the nuts. Repeal probably doesn't matter. It is a blue card, which always matters, but probably less than having actual action here. I think I want to shave these Mishra's Baubles. This matchup just isn't about grinding, it's about stuffing. I don't think I need my basic island here either. They're not going to attack my mana. Okay, just bringing in 9 cards against a matchup that already feels good on paper. Let's see if it's true. Oof, this is not it. Way too fair. I can't turn 1 the Lavinia even if we get a turn. I'm going to mulligan. Opponent kept 7. Great. Already dead. I will keep this one. And bottom, Seal of Cleansing. I don't like that Wasteland is my only mana source, but I do like that I have 2 ways to not die on turn 1. Chrome Mox. That's 1 spell. 2 spells. Shoulder the Apocalypse. Mindbreak Trap that. That was a good pivot. And they can't Pact of Negation here. Oh, sick. Force of Will. Exile my Brainstorm. Okay, yeah, they just scooped it. I would have wastelanded them, and they would have been 0 cards in hand with Chrome Mox that makes black, and in top deck mode. These are... I mean, I do think that this deck... So, this is all part of the metagame that I think I like Oath for, because the Oath is pretty bad against turbo combo decks like this, but these Lurrus decks just chew and spit out turbo combo decks like this, and Oath is good against these Lurrus creature decks. So I like that spot in the overall kind of rock, paper, scissors. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round number 3. I am going to keep my hand. This one uses Mox Ruby to cycle Lorien Revealed, and I can play a blue land on 1, hide the fact that I have double Strip Mine in my hand. I'm going to bobble them first, see what they're working with, and then I can make decisions. Urza Saga, okay. Ruby. I could just plop this Wasteland into play, actually. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Now that I know they're drawing a high power non-basic land, I kind of want to put them in a squeeze to have to think about it. If they play this Saga, I will waste it with its trigger on the stack. Okay, Ancient Tomb. Sphere of Resistance. Do I care about Sphere of Resistance? I mean, I always care about Sphere of Resistance, but not at the cost of what's going on here. I might be able to lock them under their own spheres with this hand. Cycle Lorien Revealed. I'm going to get a Tundra. Get Lost. Okay. This does not hit artifacts. I can just wasteland them, try to squeeze them under their own sphere. Yeah, I'm going to wasteland the Ancient Tomb and then play the Strip Mine. The Sphere of Resistance, hilariously, makes Lavinia worse because now even 0 drops they have to pay 1 for. I'm just going to strip this in response to its trigger. They don't even get 1 mana here. Now I got to figure out where the rest of the game's going. If they start wastelanding me, it could be bad. Cool. On a Mox Pearl, very happy with that. I can Lavinia next turn if they don't wasteland me. Oh yeah. Now we're playing vintage. Okay, I mean, I have 2 Moxen to their 0, but they have Mishra's Workshop in their deck. I'm just gonna bobble and try to find my way out of this, I guess. There's the Saga, hate that. Spell Pierce, okay. There's the Saga. Mox Pearl. Do I want to force this? I don't think so, though. It is the type of thing that I'm extremely worried about. Oh no. More of this? Alright, I am gonna force this, exiling Spell Pierce. Come on, deck. Big draws. Big draws indeed. You know what's an enchantment, though? This card. Urza Saga. Bang. Get lost. They got 2 maps, but they need a creature before they can do anything with them. They do have another Saga there. And a Soul Ring. Alright, yeah, they're starting to bust out of their Sphere squeeze. But I'm going to get to activate Saga here. Repeal might be good someday. If they don't wasteland me this turn, and I get to tutor a mana source, we're going to start doing stuff. Okay, they appear to be passing. Their constructs are a lot bigger than mine, but Repeal does delete 1 for positive gain. Drawing a land is kind of the nuts. Right, they're making a Saga before I can tutor Pithing Needle and mess them up. Do I want Black Lotus or Mox Sapphire? I think it's Mox Sapphire. In Soul Ring, Soul Ring's probably better, actually. Yeah, that one's just more mana, and I do have the blue source in the form of the Misty Rainforest here. Oh, they can explore now, but only as a sorcery. Is it better to attack or not? I could also just put Lurrus in my hand, let them run their course, and then try to squeeze my way out. Fetch the basic. That doesn't even cast Lurrus shit. I was not supposed to fetch the basic. If I attack here, I could bounce the Mox Pearl, or I could bounce the Soul Ring, then they don't even get the other construct. Yeah, this is the attack. Nice. Alright, Repeal Soul Ring. Their creature becomes a 5/5. Trades with mine, and then they don't get another one. I can't probe here because of the Sphere. Okay, let's see if that gamble paid off. Their deck is still much better than mine in playing in these conditions, but I'm currently ahead. Grab their Lotus. The 4th Saga, give me a break. Soul Ring's back. They do have a ton of mana here. How big of a thing can they do with it? Oh no, not that thing! You only get 1 of these, and it just friggin' kills me. Yeah, they destroy my Mox, which means my construct's smaller. I'm gonna probe them. Their hand is Null Rod Automaton. Yikes. Okay, I've lost this game. Tried to play small ball too long with a Shops deck. Maybe just forcing the Sphere and having high velocity was correct the whole time, but I mean, they do have 4 Urza Sagas and a Wasteland in the cards that they've seen this game. I have 1 Urza Saga and 1 Wasteland. Okay. Against Shops, Fragmentize, Swords to Plowshares, Prismatic Ending, Flusterstorm comes out, Mental Misstep comes out. Daze is an interesting one. Balance is here. If they get ahead of me, Balance can catch me up. I don't really want them to get ahead of me, but I would like access to that effect. Spell Pierce is great. Mishra's Bauble's kind of bad. I don't love Mishra's Bauble as a card at 0 mana, and if it costs 1, 2, or 3, forget about it. Okay, bring in this stuff. Pithing Needle can name some stuff in their deck. Mindbreak Trap can also stop their most busted draws, and I do pivot into a spot where I have 4 mana pretty often. If I go 0 Bauble, then Lurrus can't get into a draw engine mode. But things that Lurrus can recycle is Dead Lavinias. The best thing is Seal of Cleansing. That's why that's in the deck. You loop it with Lurrus. Yeah, I am going to try it like this. And of course, Black Lotus is always in the deck for Lurrus. Speaking of, this hand is nutty heckin' busto. Keep it. Do you see the line? I have 6 mana and Lurrus in the command zone and Black Lotus in the graveyard. Urza Saga, Sapphire, Ruby, Lurrus, Lotus, White, Lurrus, Lotus, pass holding up Spell Pierce. Not a bad turn one. Mox Ruby. Let's see how they return on this, because they're also playing Vintage. Ancient Tomb, Ruby. Patches O'Houlihan. Can't counter that with what I have. Mox Pearl. Null Rod. I will Spell Pierce that, because I have to. Blue, blue, blue. Spell Pierce. My deck does not work very well if they shut off my artifacts. Or at least this draw certainly doesn't. The fetch land can fuel Dig Through Time. No attacks, unfortunately. Patch is too big. And I have managed to find myself in a spot where having one Bobble in my deck would actually be great. Ooh, Legendary Land. That's a Caracas over there. That can bounce my Lurrus and do stuff. The low G. Alright, Lodestone Golem resolves. Patches is still too small to beat my constructs, but it's not getting better. They might want to take the trade now. They have one card left in hand. Does that mean I want to take it? Yeah, okay. I think if I'm patient and I just have the biggest creatures, that is how I win this game. I'm going to fetch in my upkeep. I'm just grabbing Tundras here. Construct. They probably want to bounce Lurrus now before we get to my main phase, and I can just refire it. Okay, we're in my main phase. I don't think this is the correct time to bounce Lurrus. Or is this the same? Does that even matter? What am I even talking about? The Black Lotus isn't going anywhere. Okay, never mind. I don't know where I am. I'm old and confused. I can play Tundra, attack with a 6-power creature. They took the 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lurrus with a white floating. Black Lotus does not cost more because it's an artifact, and then I have exactly enough to Lavinia. Also a legend, unfortunately. But the constructs are the real heroes here. And now I have 2 legends, and they can't bounce them both in a turn cycle. Foundry Inspector. Okay. And Patches O'Houlihan. Alright. Pretty good turn. But they are out of cards, and I have a Dig Through Time ready to reload me. Just Patches getting in. Nope, changed their mind. I don't think they want to lose their 6/6 here. Okay. They decided to pass after waffling back and forth on attacking a number of times. Mind Break Trap. Okay. I can go blue, blue, blue off Black Lotus. Replay it right away before they can bounce Lurrus. Blue, 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 and then Dig Through Time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, wait. I want to tap the Ruby, not the Jet, or the Sapphire, whatever color that is. Okay, here we go. Dig Through Time. Balance, Force of Negation, Lorien Revealed, Time Walk. I mean, Time Walk's got to be gas here. And if I Wasteland the Caracas, in balance, I'm ahead here. This is not the time to balance. I can Time Walk my way into a Lorien Revealed. And do I attack first? I think so. I don't want them to know what I'm cooking over here. Like, they could trade Patches for Construct and Lodestone Golem plus Automaton for the other construct, and then it's Foundry Inspector versus Lurrus and Lavinia. They could also do some chump blocks, but they do have to block at least one of these because they're taking lethal. Okay, just a little chump block and taking 6. They're at 2, and this is where I reveal the Time Walk. And they can bounce Lurrus at the end of one of these turns, and I have to replay her, and she can't be involved in combat. Okay, I'll go to my turn. We're back. It's my turn. Lavinia. If I just attack with everything, they have to bounce one of my creatures. Okay, I'm gonna do the Lotus thing and cast Lorien Revealed first, because if I find a removal spell, I'm just in there. Cast Lorien Revealed. Not a removal spell. I can waste the Caracas. If I attack with everything, they're gonna bounce Lavinia, block Construct, eat Lurrus. Okay, I'm going to attack with Construct, Lavinia. Oh, Lavinia, they can just block. Okay, I'm attacking with my 2 constructs. I think I'm far enough ahead here that as long as they don't mess up, I'll be okay. Okay, this will kill both my creatures because the construct will be smaller afterwards. And I think I just Wasteland the Caracas here. Strip the Caracas now while I have mana to replay my stuff. They're at 2. They can't tap the Sanction Tomb anymore. Bouncing my Lavinia. She's back, and I can hardcast Mindbreak Trap. It will be hard to lose this one. We did it. Alright, gotta win a game on the draw now. I think I do want one bauble in the deck. Just, I can tutor it with a Saga in a spot like that where Lurrus would really like to be drawing cards. Though I don't like the card in general against this deck. Probably cut to Cataxian Probe because I don't really care what's in their hand. I don't love losing another blue card, but I do still have a lot of them. Let's do it. We have Force of Negation. Lots of land drops. I will keep this hand. Mox Jet. Mox Sapphire. Mox Ruby. Mindbreak Trap's on. Sphere of Resistance. I do have to fight over this. My hand does not function well without that. Ooh, suddenly. Black Lotus in the mix. I'm going to play my Delta and my Lotus. And I think I just pass here. Phyrexian Revoker. Boy, do I hate that. And I'm not just going to yeet my Lotus over it, but it's a powerful card. I'll have to repeal it in the near future. Wasteland, okay. And they'd be insane to play Null Rod here. They tap 2 mana and then change their mind. Fetch for the basic. Cycle for a Tundra. Go to my turn. Ponder, interesting. I think I do want to Ponder because Swords to Plowshares is so fucked right now. There it is, okay. Plow can unlock my Lotus, put Lurrus in my hand, but what is the long-term plan for that? I'll put the Force on top after the Plow, play the Tundra, as the Saga is my important land here. If they want to wasteland this, I'm not even worried about it. Tolarian Academy, yuck. Hey, I'm gonna Plow the Revoker now because it is worth a mana in the main phase. I probably would have just taken 2 if they didn't play Academy there. Patches of Houlihan and Lodestone Golem. Okay. They're all in, though. These are all their cards. They probably want to wasteland me now. I think it's time. Yeah. Okay. Force of Will. Knew I was drawing that. Urza Saga. I think I want to pass here. And then next turn I can 3, 4. I can't quite activate Saga and make a construct. It's the Mindbreak Trap we knew about as well. If I take another 7, I'm at 5. But then I can tutor Soul Ring and start doing stuff. And I can pop Lotus in my main phase to make a construct. Okay. I'm gonna try to figure this out from here. There's mana in their pool. Golos, Tireless Pilgrim. This cannot be allowed to happen. Force, pay 1, exile Mindbreak Trap. So this is now 8 damage to my 11 life. Come on, mana. Another Mindbreak Trap. Oh, these are not going well. Okay, what are the plays here? 3, 4, 5, 6. But not only 3 of it is white or black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, if I get a white Mox, I can play Lurrus here. Or no, Lurrus costs 4 shit. I can't do anything. Oh no. If I go 3, activate Saga, I have 1 floating. Or 1 floating plus the island. I can tutor a Mox and play Time Walk and then try to get something going. I think I at least... Oh, one blocker doesn't help me. Does white mana help me here? It doesn't matter. I have to spend all my mana to do everything. Okay. Blue, blue, blue. Make a construct. Tutor. Okay, so Mox Pearl is the one that can cast the relevant spells in my deck. Soul Ring is more mana, though. I think I need to Pearl. And then Time Walk off the Pearl and draw Swords to Plowshares, Chump Block for a turn, and then hope I have a plan after that. This is bad. Wasteland, way too late for that. And I can't repeal. I can put Lurrus in hand, but can't cast it. All right, cool. Yep, they got just up under me there. That one Wasteland was good enough. The Phyrexian Revoker actually jacked me up pretty good. That sent me back a whole turn, and then they're 1 turn ahead of me stabilizing here. And maybe if I don't play out the Lotus, but you play out the Lotus. Like, if they play a Sphere, then your Lotus is worse. I'm trying to think if I could have done meaningfully different things that game. I think I just needed 1 more white card than I had. Swords of Plowshares is big. Like, another plow kills the Lodestone Golem, and then I can do everything. Okay, on to the next one. You come here to level up in Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. You can also find Jeremy co-hosting episodes 106 and 109 of the Tech Talk series with Keith Shaw on the Tech Talk YouTube channel. Head over to Tech Talk and don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube channel for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the draw in round number 4. I'm going to keep this hand. It's extremely explosive if I get a turn, which is not a given in Vintage. But I do like what's going on here, other than I wish one of these cards was Force of Will. Moment of Truth. What are you up to over there? Grief, pitching, Creeping Chill. All right, we're against Dredge. They probably take my Mox Sapphire here, then I just lose. They took the Plow. Interesting. There's the Bazaar. Discarded Silver Smoke Ghoul, Stinkweed Imp, Force of Vigor, and played a Hollow one. Okay. Get Lost. Okay. Do they have Force? Nope, they have 1 card in hand. They can't force this. Soul Ring. Cycle Lorien Revealed for a Tundra. Play the Tundra. Bobble you. A Hollow one's on top. And I'll say get lost to this Hollow one. If their last card is Mindbreak Trap, they can get me here. But that mana was going to burn off. I can't pass the turn into this. Okay, they got some maps. I draw for Bobble, Force of Negation. Probably doesn't matter at this point of the game. Silver Smoke Ghoul is at the beginning of your end step. If you gain 3 or more life this turn, return this to the battlefield tapped from your graveyard. That's a combo with Creeping Chill. And they drew the Hollow one. Okay. That's actually an insane read. Yeah, Creeping Chill. Now the Silver Smoke Ghoul's going to happen. Big Dredges, and they kept Hollow one in hand. There it is. Ghoul triggers. And now, cool. I am pretty happy with this land. That lets me play Lavinia and put Lurrus in my hand. Lurrus is in the grip. Opponent does have 7 power in play, and has shown me that their deck has the ability to do another 6 from just dredging. They've already pitched 1 Creeping Chill and triggered another one. Icarid also works here. They just hit 3 of them. Yeah, I think I'm dead. Narcomoeba triggers Prized Amalgam. The final dredge hit both Prized Amalgam and Narcomoeba. There was another one up there already. Okay, yeah, we're way behind. You do rely on your 5 Wasteland effects to control the Bazaars. An opponent just had turn 1 Bazaar and has been going to town with it ever since. I think I trade here. I don't like losing Lavinia, but Lurrus can recast her. And I can't just be taking damage here. These aren't spells, they're all triggered abilities, so is Icarid. Ponder. Guess I have to try to ponder here and just do something. I don't even know what I'm drawing for. The Wasteland is way too late. I don't main deck any Graveyard Hate, do I? Nope. Alright. I'm dead. Slow Guide Lantern, Pithing Needle, Grafdigger's Cage, Tabernacle, Balance, Swords to Plowshares, Containment Priest. Counter spells are less important here. Misstep, Probe, Spell Pierce, Force of Will. I could get Flusterstorm in here. The only reason I would want any counters at all is if they cast a counter spell targeting on something important. Daze definitely not where I want to be. I'll get Force of Will back over Daze at least. Is Seal of Cleansing better than Prismatic Ending? Seal can kill Hollow one. That's worth it to me. Okay. I'm going in like this, piling up on white cards once again. On the play, I mean, I do have a Wasteland here. I can keep this. They powdered their first hand. Mull to 6. Mull to 5. Leyline of the Void is in their deck. Mull to 4, Mull to 3. Mull to 2. Are we getting the famous Mull to 0? The Bizarre Baghdad Mull to 0? Okay, they kept 2. That doesn't happen very often. We did witness something special here. And by special, I mean horrible for my opponent. I will bobble them. We see Golgari Thug. And then I'm going to put Lurrus in my hand. I was not going to put Lurrus in my hand if they kept 6 or 7, because I didn't want her to get griefed. But if assuming one of their 2 cards in hand is Bazaar, if they want to pitch their Dredger to grief me, that seems pretty mid for them. Okay, Bazaar, they get to keep 1 card in hand. If it's a hollow one, I have Plow. Prized Amalgam, Mental Misstep, Thug are in the graveyard. Bauble. Let's have a look. Sickening Shoal. Cool. I mean, that kills Lurrus. Still going to run her out there. Mishra's Bauble. Let me look at that Sickening Shoal again. And then Wasteland. They have 1 card in hand. Could be a Bazaar. Could be a Noxious Revival to buy back this Bazaar. Bauble. Bauble. Seal of Cleansing beats Hollow One. They did dredge. The Sickening Shoal's gone, and they milled over a Bazaar. They did have another Bazaar. Gonna have to figure this out now. Not in great shape. They are hellbent, but they're dredging. Come on, Wasteland. Containment Priest, I'll take that one. Mishra's Bauble. Bauble you. Sickening Shoal again. Do they play any other cards? Or is it only that? Lurrus getting damage in there, getting rowdy. I think they have to dredge to do anything here. I'm just going to pass with Containment Priest in my hand. If they see it, they might start drawing cards. But if they don't see it, they might start doing stuff like this. Narcomoeba, Creeping Chill. I don't want them to have this Narcomoeba. I'll just get the Priest in now. Now we're pushing 5 damage a turn, and I'm gaining 3 life a turn, and their creatures can't come back. And they did continue to dredge rather than draw, even though the Priest is here. I'm not a dredge expert, but that's interesting. I was expecting a draw there. Yeah, they picked up Stinkweed Imp. I guess that puts a black card in the hand in case they start drawing towards a Sickening Shoal next turn. Or they're just dead. Cool. Okay, I just need them to mold it 2 again. That was pretty good. Okay, so I have 2 Flusterstorms, 2 Forces in. The Fluster will hard counter anything because their deck doesn't have mana. It can't counter Hollow One, but the Sickening Shoals, that's the sort of counterplay I was worried about and why I left some counterspells in the deck. I feel like Get Lost might not be necessary. Or we saw Line of the Void, though. That is an enchantment. Man, Get Lost gets a lot of stuff. Seal of Cleansing also gets that. Is it possible that Force of Will is better than any of those cards? Probably Force of Will replace the Get Lost. If my hand has a Grafdigger's Cage, Pithing Needle, Soul Guide Lantern in it, I want to make sure I have that card and it doesn't get griefed, and then I want to make sure that card resolves unmolested. For those reasons, I will make room for my Force of Wills again. Maybe shave 1 Bauble here. Okay, I'm trying this. Oof. Ancestral Recall Wasteland. Is this good enough to keep? Opponent mulled to 6. Ancestral Recall Wasteland, Hate Bear. This might not be good enough. I am going to keep it, though. Interacts with Bazaar and has power in it. Worth a shot. They have a 6-card hand. That's a terrifying number. Bazaar, what a surprise. Grief Pitching Icarid. Okay. We'll find out whether Containment Priest or Ancestral Recall is their bigger concern. They can't take the Wasteland, which is the Bazaar interaction. Ancestral was the choice. Activating Bazaar. 3 Dredgers in the graveyard. Is there a Hollow One? There is not. Okay, let's draw a Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, I can Wasteland and hope that they're slow dredging. If they have a second Bazaar in hand, I'm in the Shadow Realm. I'm going to go for the Bazaar interaction. I think that's the most potent thing I can do here. You can Ponder into Black Lotus, play Containment Priest is the most potent thing I can do. But I don't know that the Lotus is there. I do know that Wasteland's there. Okay, Dredge hit 2 Icarids. Moment of Truth. God! Alright, they only play 4 of those, right? Okay, now I probably lose. Creeping Chill, 2 Creeping Chills on a Narcomoeba. There's no prize, or there is 1 Prize Amalgam. There's 1 Prize Amalgam, no ghouls. They'll have 4 power in play at the end of this turn. Tabernacle's a good draw. It doesn't stop the Icarids, though. Tabernacle is in my deck, though. I do have a uncounterable 0 mana Plague Wind that I can drop if I reach something close to stability. Ponder. Kind of have to try to spike the Lotus here. Mox Ruby, Flusterstorm. Those are not those cards. Shuffle it. Lotus? Urza Saga. Alright. This is a huge hit from 2 Icarids. I'm taking 10 this turn. I'm at 4. Oh, maybe more, because they could dredge more. Oh, I'm at 1. Yep, super dead. I should have mulliganed this hand. The Wasteland, they did have a second Bazaar. Sometimes this deck goes to 2 cards to find 1 Bazaar, and sometimes they keep 6 and they just have 2 Bazaars, and maybe just mulling for more potent hate was necessary. Oh, they dredged the last Creeping Chill. I'm dead. Okay. Yeah, just smeared there. The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is available exclusively through Coalesce Apparel. This Magic player-owned business is a staple of our community. They keep this channel on the air, and it's my pleasure to partner with them for this product. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market. They have awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll to get 10% off your order, only at coalesceapparel.shop. On the draw in the final round with a hand that it can accelerate Saga, it can interact with a creature or a spell. I'm going to keep. Opponent did not reveal a Lurrus. Mox Sapphire. Blue-black, no Lurrus. Entomb, interesting. What do we entomb in Vintage? Everything's legal, but Reanimator is not usually a thing. They've entombed a Grizzlebrand. Oh, Black Lotus, that was a good one, as usual. Okay. Tundra, Mox Jet, Black Lotus. I think I want to get and cast Ancestral Recall. Blue, blue, blue. Float a black. My deck doesn't actually use black mana. It might use blue, though. Grab Ancestral myself with a blue floating. They're forcing this. I'll use my floating blue to have Ancestral Resolve. This might be greedy, knowing that there's a good chance they're going to make a Grizzlebrand next turn. Deck's full of counterspells, though. I'm going to try to draw one of them. Could be anything, even a counterspell. A Daze. Alright. I mean, not exactly where I want to be. It's not nothing, though. Oh, good chance we lose here. Yeah, maybe with the onboard information, I'm just... Oh, wow, that's so lucky. Blue, Daze. I am extremely grateful that that was not Reanimate. I'll finish my thought. With the onboard information, maybe I was supposed to just hold Flusterstorm, but Flusterstorm doesn't beat Animate Dead, and Daze does. So I just backdoored into playing perfectly. And this is their only black source I'm aware of. Let's take that away. Okay. We have reached stability. Whatever that means. Just don't draw a black source or anything to do with your blue mana. Okay, we are chillin'. Mishra's Bauble. Tundra, Bauble. Please don't show me an Underground Sea. Animate Dead. Okay. I can destroy that with Get Lost before it makes the monster, even if they have been sandbagging a black source here. Hey, making constructs. We're moving. Stuff's happening. Force Wheels in my hand now. We're doing it. Do I want Soul Ring or a on-color Mox? I think Soul Ring's good here. Bauble. Attack for 5. And I can bauble them, and that'll tell me if I need to hold up Get Lost or not. Archon of Cruelty. Alright, I don't think that's going to change their hand. Therefore, I will put Lurrus in my grip. Okay, force blue card. Just 1, though. Alright, we got away with that one. If they just had Reanimate instead of Animate Dead, they win. Containment Priest comes in, Flusterstorm, all of this Graveyard Hate. I wonder if I want Plows or Mindbreak Traps. They're kind of situational in a way that doesn't necessarily solve my problems. Seal of Cleansing does not seem important. Island does not seem important. Oh, Seal of Cleansing kills Animate Dead. If I just float that in play, they can't Animate Dead. Shave a Plow. Alright, I'm definitely not going to have room for all these other Plows. And probably not the Mindbreak Trap either. I do need to be able to do stuff. Once again, shaving Mishra's Baubles. That does get me to 6. Okay. Yeah, I think with 7 forces, Daze, Misstep, I don't want to go into Mindbreak Trap as well. I just don't want to cut any more cards from my deck. A force blue card, an Ancestral that does not get cast right now. I'm going to keep this. Any blue card is a good draw. Any blue source is a good draw. Opponent mull to 5. I like that. Don't like the Mox Sapphire. Lorien revealed. Right where it belongs all the time. It's a blue card if I need that. It's a blue land if I need that. And they might try to Opposition Agent me here, but I can force that. And I really would like some mana to play my spells. Flusterstorm is great. onto round C. It's time to make a move. I wonder if they're just going to play Shieldred here. Doomsday. Suddenly we're a Doomsday deck. Maybe they were Doomsday deck the whole time. This is a great spot to Flusterstorm, though. If they have Force, they can force one copy and pay for the other. But then they're empty. And there's secret flavor text to Ancestral Recall and Vintage, especially against Doomsday. Okay, I still get to counter this because they have an odd number of triggers here. They can put 2 on one of my Flusters. Oh, they actually stacked this wrong. They needed to let the trigger resolve. So I'm going to... I could have paid for 1 copy of Flusterstorm anyway. Oh, it looks like they just completely countered their own Flusterstorm. Okay. There was some Moto misclick stuff that just happened. But I did have this beat anyway. I just don't have to tap Wasteland now. That was weird and unfortunate. Okay. And we got the shame concede. Okay. 2-3 record. I'm not convinced that I sideboarded correctly in every match. Maybe there's some angles of the matchups I didn't fully understand. But we did get a good spread of blue decks, like fair blue decks, fair combo decks, shops decks, and bizarre decks. We basically got the whole format, except for Oath, in this league. Pretty good showcase of the different play patterns. And for the games where we stopped our opponent from functioning and sent them to the dog food factory, those felt really good. You just squeeze them down and they can't do anything. However, the games where they broke out of my squeeze, I felt like I was really bad at catching up in those situations. And the ones that I lost the hardest were the ones where I just got properly vintaged, where it was like, I keep a reasonable hand and then my opponent has 3 Moxen, Ancestral Recall, and Time Walk in their opening hand. Or a Dredge player who has 2 Bazaars in a 6-card keep. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you have to beat in this format. I'm not complaining and saying I got unlucky or anything. Like, these decks are all built to be explosive and powerful and resilient. And while sometimes we could collapse the opponent, sometimes we couldn't. And if they ever got past my wall, I felt like I just didn't have a chance. I will not be playing this deck at Eternal Weekend. It's probably fine. The black version might be better. But either way, just playing this small ball stuff in a format where people can win on turn 1 or can win all in one turn, even if, like, one thing I really like about Oath of Druids is even if your opponent does play like 2 Sphere of Resistances, a Trinisphere, and Wastelands you, at some point you'll just like have 4 lands and you can cast Oath, and on that turn, if you're not dead, you win, despite everything they did before that. Plus you have the ability to dumpster on turn 1 with a deck like Oath, where this deck can neither dumpster on turn 1 nor reasonably catch up if it gets punched through. And I'm out on that. Guy, thank you for supporting Vintage on the channel, as usual. Everyone else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. If you're at Eternal Weekend and somehow also watching this, make sure to say hi. I'll be around, and I'll see you next time.